Folks, Dragon Keeper 19600 with another way late review of Season 6 Adventure Time episode. Hooray! So, tonight is Hoots. And while this one wasn't quite as big as Grable's 1000 Plus, this was still a pretty huge one. I watched this one with my cousins, who are all younger than me, the oldest of whom is, I think, 10. And when it got to the reveal at the end, we were all like, oh my god! But yeah, it was great. So, basically, you know what I'm talking about. So basically, this episode is about the Cosmic Owl, and this one was really interesting because we get to see more of the Cosmic Owl, we get to see more of his powers and how they work, and also we get, like, I just want to start right off the bat, I really love the world the Cosmic Owl inhabits. It's like, it itself seems like something out of a dream. Like, he lives in the stars, and, like, even though it's, like, a cheap motel, and he, like, cooks, like, instant oats, like malted meal basically for dinner with mice in it. That's cute. And it's run down, but it still looks really cool because it's made of stars and all his furniture is like made of like constellations and stuff. And I like the dream thing that's like a touch screen that you could like look in everybody's dream. And I also like what everybody's dreams entailed as he was looking into them. Like we saw Cherry Cream Soda Girl. Like each of theirs like has a meaning you could kind of devolve from it. Cherry Cream Soda Girl is like tripping, which I don't, considering what happened to her husband, that's a little dark. And Marceline is flying on Hambo because she wants her bear back. We see Lemon Hope's dream in there, which made me a little sad when I first saw it. Like, is he still dreaming about that? Poor kid. He really did ruin his life. But the one that stuck with me the most, who was the most chilling, is the one with Tree Trunks, who is undoing a big zipper and she finds a row of skulls, like a huge pile of skulls underneath. That seemed really sinister foreshadowing me. And granted, the Cosmic Owl wasn't in that dream, he was just looking at it, but considering who is living in her house currently, you know, like it's a little bit chilling. Um Basically the way the Cosmic Owl's powers works is the croak dreams and such that were established early on. Basically if the Cosmic Owl is in a dream, it will happen, either literally or metaphorically. Um, I like when he enters Finn's dream, he goes, Finn again. Because he's interacted with this kid so many times and sort of helped to ruin his life, though to be fair, none of Finn's actions were the Cosmic Owl's fault. It seems like his work just involves showing up in people's dreams. Like, I don't know if he does anything there to influence events or anything, but yeah, just being in a dream makes it turn into reality. This whole like logic about how this world works is really fascinating to me. And of course, the dream that Finn was having, that Cosmic Owl was in, so we know it's real, was like him, Martin, and Sweet Pea, and Jake was taking pictures while his face was upside down, and he says, "Say cheese," and it looks like he's sad or something because like his face is upside down, so it looks like he's smiling, but he's actually frowning. And then I heard this online, so I don't know if it's true, but after Cosmic Owl turns his head upside down because he's an owl, that's what owls can do. Jake says something backwards, and according to Tumblr, what he says is "say goodbye." And I don't know if that's actually what he said, but it didn't sound like it was "say cheese" backwards. It sounded like something else. So, considering some of the foreshadowing that Jake is not in the best shape in this season, it's like, it's really worrying. I don't know if anything happens to Jake, and by the time this season ends, please don't tell me if it does. Shh, I haven't seen past Water Park Prank yet. But, yeah, that was uncomfortable. Um, and of course, like, the Martin and Sweet Pea pull away from Finn, and Finn is running after them, but he's on the trampoline, so he's not getting anywhere. Um, all good symbolic stuff. I guess you could say that maybe it symbolizes some kind of like inability to stop some kind of disaster, or probably a wish to have Martin be a better dad, or maybe a wish to like try to keep up after Sweet Pea or something. I know, but I remember last time Sweet Pea and Martin were in the same place together, it wasn't going so well. So this episode is basically like foreshadowing the episode. Like it's just setting up stuff to freak us out, which Adventure Time is an expert at doing by this point. What else? Oh yeah, let's get to the obvious thing. Um, I was not expecting the reveal of the girl that uh, the Cosmic Owl likes to be Gunter. Like, I did not see that coming. And I was like, the first thing I thought was, Gunter really is evil. And the next thing I thought was, Gunter really is a girl. Because I remember one episode where Gunter lays an egg and Jake's reaction is, Gunter's a woman? Ice King goes, what? No. Well, anyway. So, yeah, Gunter is female. It's pretty incontrovertible at this point. I'm surprised that we didn't notice that earlier. So, the question is then, if Gunter is definitely female, why does Ice King keep referring to her as male? And I think the reason for that is it's probably to do with the crown. Like, the first Gunter was male, so this Gunter, to Ice King's warped brain, must be male. That must have been awkward when he was traveling with Marceline because, sometimes called Marceline Gunter. That must have been frustrating. But anyway, there is actually some foreshadowing that the bird lady is Gunter. The one thing I think of was when he enters her dream for the second or third time, I guess. She's standing on an ice floe. And she's like, there's just ice here. I wish I could dream of a better place. Like, of course she dream of ice. She sees it all the time. It's kind of everywhere. She sounds like she's sick of it. And of course when he says, like, you want to see royalty, like the Ice King? His dreams are always so sad, which is another sad thing that, like, don't say that, Cosmic Owl. But, like, she shows absolute no interest in the Ice King because she hangs around him all the time. And she broke his leg with a brick. That kind of thing. So, I remember once, way back in season 2, Hunts and Abadir, Marceline's father, called Gunter the most evil creature he's ever encountered. And somebody asked on Facebook if that was true, and one of the writers said, if Hunts and Abadir says you're evil, then it must be true. So Gunter hasn't been up to anything yet, because the Ice King is keeping tabs on her. And he can't keep tabs on her in her dreams, I guess. But yeah, so this isn't really surprising. Like, it's one of those twists where it doesn't come out of nowhere. It kind of clicks together the more you think about it. I do like how she, I was wondering at first how she showed up in Finn's dream. If, like, I was wondering if maybe she wasn't real at all. But then I recalled, like, way back they established that if two people are dreaming at the same time, they can, like, meet dream-wise. So that's probably what was happening there. I like how she didn't seem to realize whose dream she was in. She just kind of walked in and took the mirror ball from the ceiling. That's weird. Maybe she wanted to break it. I do like the joke at the end where Ice King gives her a baby bottle and she after sitting with it sentimentally, she breaks it. Oh, Gunter. I also like how he's got her in a crib with a baby monitor next to it. Like, that's weird. I don't know, probably the crown manifesting some kind of desire to be a more parental figure to Gunter, and that warped into baby monitor, and here's your baby bottle even though you have a beak, and here's your baby crib with the frilly lace and all that stuff. So yes. As far as the romance goes, I shouldn't be surprised at this point, but it did seem pretty sexual, which, it's Adventure Time. Like, you shouldn't be surprised at this point. I forgot to mention last week about the Mr. Cupcake's massage business. That was totally not a massage business. It's like, he's over at Madame Claire's apartment again. His massage business is really taking off. It's like, Princess Bubblegum, you're surprisingly naive about some stuff. But yeah. He admires her, like, plumage, butt feathers, as he says, and when he keeps a toothpick and he spins it, you can see there's still little bits of food stuck to it. It's like, ew. Like, if you're looking at someone's leftover food longingly, you're into some kinky stuff. Okay. I think it is interesting how Gunter's, like, projection of herself doesn't look at all like she really does. Actually, if you look in her dream, none of them do, because she was in a dream where she was with a bunch of people who are, like, in suits and stuff, which makes a little bit of sense, I guess, because, you know, they're penguins, and penguins are supposed to have that tuxedo look, and they're all in tuxedos. So one of them slips and trips in the dream that Cosmic Owl was in, and you see at the end of the episode, one of the penguins slips while carrying a tray full of food, and all the other penguins laugh. So all those other people were penguins, and it makes sense they'd be in each other's dreams, I guess, because, or maybe they weren't. Maybe it's just symbolic. But whatever. If they were all in her dream and were those tuxedo people, it would make sense because, you know, if they're all on the same schedule, they'd sleep at the same time. And that actually sounds really fun. Dream parties with people. As long as people don't melt. And that brings me to the final point I want to talk about. Princess Bubblegum's dream. Oh my god. Not only did it establish, definitely without a doubt, that like this is the first really evil thing we've seen Gunter do in a while. Last time was when he used the magic eye, but even then she was placated with bottles. But here she's like just causes mass destruction for no reason, really. She just said it felt like the right thing to do. There's this thing on there's this weird trend in Adventure Time where some evil people are just like wired to be evil. Like they're not even actively malicious. It's just that their brain works in a certain way that they just want to do bad stuff. And Hudson Abadir is like that, and I guess Gunter is like that. Probably even worse than Hudson since she slapped him in the face. But anyway, that dream where there's a lot of interesting stuff about Princess Bubblegum's character here. When she dreams about like watering the ground and the castle sprouts up spontaneously, which is not how I remember. If I recall, the other candy people had to help build that castle. And they're cheering for her, and suddenly, and Cinnamon Bun's there too. I just thought of that. Cinnamon Bun hasn't lived in the Candy Kingdom for a long time, but he's in her dream, and they're all cheering for her. And I think it says a lot about Princess Bubblegum's maternal instinct and need to keep everyone close, and her like kind of clinginess almost, that she just wants all her people to love her, and she wants them all to stay, and she wants to keep tabs on them all the time. When they start booing her, what she says is, "After all I've done for you." And I mentioned this in my review last week, but I think Princess Bubblegum sort of likes having this kind of dependent relationship with the candy people. I think she likes feeling needed, which is not an inherently bad thing, but when it gets to the pathological levels that she sometimes take it can get bad. And also when the candy people start melting into the syrup, and she says, "All my hard work." Like, I know it's a dream and you don't act like in a dream like you would normally, but it seems she didn't seem sad, and she seemed more frustrated that everything was going to naught because everybody was dying horribly. Not because she was mourning them, but because she's like, it's all like something that she worked very hard for, slipping through her fingers. So it was a bit self-centered, kind of. But that really scared me. Considering what we know happens to the Candy Kingdom in the future, I don't think this was literal, although it might be. It's Adventure Time, anything's possible. But that is all of this was just madness. It was a really, really good episode. I'd argue it's even maybe not better than Grable's 1000 Plus, but I think like more watchable since it had like a coherent narrative and the visuals look cool and the foreshadowing was amazing, and like it's really good, and I can't wait to see what the finale has in store and maybe if any of these questions will be answered. So hope you enjoyed that review. More to come. Dragon Keeper 9600 signing off.